one of two mirror matchups tonight. We do have a ZVZ later on, but here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the German Protoss player, we have the red Protoss for Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for Streamer Zone. It is sOs. Here we go. Now, after a bit of a longer, drawn-out series in the first round, coming into this PvP, we should be seeing something more intense, something more aggressive. Welcome to 10,000 feet. Smaller map, but more importantly, both sOs and ShoWTimE are more than happy, more than willing to cheese and to spice things up in PvPs. We bring this up all the time. ShoWTimE has a reputation for longer macro games. That is true, but that is mainly the case in other matchups, not in PvP. In PvP, ShoWTimE, he's not afraid to cheese. He's not afraid to all in. For now, though, everything's looking normal. Everything's looking standard. I will also say, on the flip side of things, when it comes to sOs, he's notorious for being hyper cheesy and hyper unorthodox. That is true. He's notorious, but that is a reputation he did gather many years ago. In modern StarCraft, I would say that sOs, he's more mellowed out. He's admitted that himself as well. But sOs, it's similar to Rogue. Both sOs and Rogue, after their return, after their hiatus, like, they have mellowed out quite a bit, and they're not as aggressive and not as chaotic as they used to be. Not saying they never cheese and that they never all in, it's just less so than previously. Hello, ShoWTimE. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE, where's that second pylon? Okay, he's gonna be going for the proxy in the center of the map. This would not be a bad location for a proxy robo. Let's see. Okay, scouting. So for now, it looks like a fake out. Looks like a fake pylon. sOs, he is searching here for the proxy, scouting on the right hand side of the map. Cybercore is done, opening up double adept, and there is no proxy here. So it is a fake out. Unfortunately for ShoWTimE, sOs never probe scouted the main base, so he doesn't know that there's a pylon out of the map. We already do diverge early on. It's going to be double stalker versus double adept. Double adept at a ShoWTimE is more aggressive. It allows you to move out across the map, shade across, and to potentially shade into the mineral line. And we're doubling down on the aggression. Double adept into Stargate, into Oracle harass. So again, a very aggressive build here by ShoWTimE. They drew scouts, checking for the expansion. Behind this, we can see that sOs, he's backing up a lot of resources. He has what, 500? He had 500 minerals for a moment there. We need to throw down some tech, and there it is, Robo. Misread. And Robo's on the way. Remember, sOs, he never scouted across the map. There's a very defensive setup here from sOs. And he can turn this into an all-in. At the same time, ShoWTimE, because he also refusing to expand, he keeps checking for a base. There is none, so he goes for his own defensive immortal, his own defensive robo. Finally, sOs expands. And ShoWTimE will confirm. There it is. ShoWTimE, he does confirm. And with that, he's going for his own. Both players expanding. This also confirms that this setup from ShoWTimE was a reaction to sOs. He was reacting. As sOs, let's go in for the full scouts. Adepts are able to pop off in their own way. So Oracle does land the revelation. Does confirm the robo. So ShoWTimE sees just how safe sOs is being. And now we're building up into the mid game. So far, ShoWTimE does take a worker lead. He's up in workers. He was able to snipe probes. Shades back in, getting another probe. And another? Wow, 2 more probes. Okay. 2 more probes go down. ShoWTimE getting further ahead. He's building up his immortals. And then again, this first game here also just kind of exemplifies what we were saying earlier, how SOS, he is just being more defensive, trying to be more secure, struggles in doing so. Oh, nice shade here by SOS, dropping into the main, catching up with probes. And ShoWTimE just claiming a third. Just claiming a third base. SOS, instead of expanding, he's teching, going for a Forge and Twilight Council. Well, the pressure's on SOS. He didn't see the base. He saw the army, but it could have just been posturing. Oof. SOS, he doesn't know what's going on. Here he's setting up, taking more gases. Again, remember, SOS, he never scouted. He never scouted. He is not aware. Oh, sorry, too soon. Sorry. Did get eyes on this. SOS knows. He's throwing down 2 more gates, getting up to 4 gateways, and he will go for a delayed expansion. Late expansion by SOS. Now, there is a small window in time where SOS will have better upgrades. He's posturing with his main army. Pressure is on. SOS should not commit. If he were to, he would lose this army. He's just taking it, playing it slow. Taking it safe. Take it slow, playing it safe. And we're just taking, we're just slowing the game down, taking up, we're building up the Archon production. SOS is trying to catch back up. Again, SOS has been playing from behind for the entirety of the game. But he's poking in. We have 2 adepts on left. We have the prism in between the bases, dropping into the main. And he has potential. Going for the main mineral line. ShoWTimE notices. Despite that, probes will still go down. Getting 1, 2 probes so far. SOS the main army head towards the center base. ShoWTimE is in position. As ShoWTimE is breaking out. Upgrades are even. ShoWTimE has the larger army. He's got more immortals. He's got more archons. There are some batteries on the way that will help. Comes down to the engage. Force Fields, they zone away the army. SOS struggling to engage. Gets one of the Archons. Never mind. Army pulls back. So far, Zelsic collapsed on top of the main army. Yeah, and ShoWTimE is breaking through. ShoWTimE just completely overwhelms. Yeah, again, better engaged, larger army. Again, it was just a rough game here for SOS. We did mention before, but he was just playing from behind. He was behind economically the entire game. He never caught up. And with that, ShoWTimE just snowballs out of control. He dominates the fight. GG gets pulled, and ShoWTimE takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ShoWTimE does claim a lead in the series. Again, a shaky game there from SOS. From the very beginning, he had a misread, but a lot of it came down to lack of scouting. Remember, SOS never probe scouted. I mean, even if he did, he might have still reacted the same way. But SOS was being hyper safe. He went for the robo on one base. He stayed on one base how much longer. Did technically take a faster third, but again his probe count was suffering. He also struggled defending as well. With the Oracle harass, the Adept harass, ShoWTimE took a very comfortable lead early on. He never lost it. Never lost that lead. That translated into a larger army, into a stronger timing. He had the faster third, of course, to maintain that better economy, and GG. GG, well played. With that, ShoWTimE takes a lead, and now we're loading into game number 2. In mirror matchups, these leads are just really brutal. It's applicable to TVT, ZVZ, and PvP. I would say it applies to Terran versus Terran less than the others. TVT is different because in Terran versus Terran, because it's so tank based, especially in the mid game, you can be down in supply, you can be behind in economy, but you can still take a better fight with your tank out positioning your opponents, right? You can just out position your opponents and get the first 1-2 volleys off and pop off from there. So TVT is a little more volatile because of that. In PvP and ZVZ, if you fall behind economically, it's very hard to recover from that. Not impossible, just difficult from any kind of deficit, really. But here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. Oh. Yeah, the red Protoss leading the series 1-0 for Sentinels. It is a ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss, we have the South Korean Protoss, the streamer zone. It is SOS. Here we go. As we load into a much larger map, the map pool, a large map, more possible locations for proxies, by the way. So we'll see who takes the bait, if anyone, to attempt to go for a proxy, to attempt to be hyper aggressive. Oh. Okay, so SOS is going for a 2-gate opener, and if you noticed, sorry, ShoWTimE is going for a 2-gate opener, and if you noticed, SOS didn't take a gas. SOS, he did not take a second gas geyser. Gate expand, hyper greed out of SOS. Okay, so SOS is cutting a lot of corners, opening up single gas, going for a later cyber core, going for a later gateway, and going for a faster nexus. Now, ShoWTimE throws down the pylon. I'm curious, is ShoWTimE blindly going to one base all in? If so, he's just going to build it or win. Throws down the pylon, the probe is being somewhat active, but if he doubles back around and if he goes for the robo, ShoWTimE should win this game. Oh boy. No shot. The reads out of ShoWTimE. Remember, ShoWTimE did not probe scout, by the way. There is no probe scout. Proxy robo, one base all in out of ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE has the lead, has the advantage. Just because SOS, this is the greediest build you can go for. Gate expand. Technically, I think we've seen Australia go straight Nexus first, which is crazy. I think we have seen that maybe like once or twice. But outside of that, like, this is the greediest build you can go for. And it's gonna be a tough hold. Oh boy. And again, this also kind of leans into what we were saying at the start of this series, how ShoWTimE, he is more than happy to cheese in PvP, specifically in PvP. Like ShoWTimE, he gets down and dirty as well with the best of them. So we got the Prism is on the way. ShoWTimE did, of course, confirm the timing, did confirm the Nexus. ShoWTimE is aware, just waiting for the Prism. He can bypass the wall. Right now there's a battery here at the natural, which will mean the natural is much more defendable, of course, but what's in the main? There's no battery. There should be a safety shield battery in the main base as well. SOS, he scouts, he knows that the pylon is missing. He's getting a second battery in his natural, but what about the main? Now the battery's on the way. If they slip in. They get one, they get two probes. 3 in total. 2 adepts, they do hit the natural, 0 mining. Jesus. For a moment there was just 0 income for SOS. ShoWTimE breaks in, shades away. Doesn't lose any units. Back into the main. Oh, bit of miscontrol. Targeted the Nexus by accident, but does kill 2 probes. 5 in total. Immortals moving in. ShoWTimE now rallying his entire army together. And now it's time to break the natural. Now there are plenty of sentries. There are a lot of force fields available here for SOS. Force fields will buy time, but they shouldn't kill anything just because ShoWTimE has the War Prism. And he just juggled into the main. He just ferry on in. Oh, has to be careful. ShoWTimE has to be careful with that prism. There's no robo here either for SOS. Just purely a gateway defense. Just waiting for the second immortal. The other scary thing about this army is that with the depths, you can shade onto the sentries. And now baits out 2 force fields. And more force fields thrown down. Once again, SOS is buying time with these force fields. And he's got another round. He's got 1 more round of force fields. I think he's got 2 more left. Once again, nice control by ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE, he has yet to lose a single unit. Again, SOS has got, what, like 3 more force fields. There it is. I think he has 1 more in the chamber. Yeah, the final force field. He's got no mass. We just juggle over. Yeah, we just juggle over the wall. Into the natural. Boys are being pulled. Getting desperate. Pulled into a depths. And ShoWTimE has done it. ShoWTimE, he'll load well. He'll break SOS. And he will extend his lead in the series. Yeah, he will extend his lead. Again, as we mentioned at the start of the game, it's just a build order win. Build order win. GG gets called, and ShoWTimE takes game number 2. GG. GG, well played. Winding it back, SOS, he went for one of, if not the greediest build you can go for in PvP, viably at least, because technically you could go Nexus first, technically, but this was Gateway into Nexus off of 1 gas, into a late second gate, into a late Cybercore, and also a late scout as well. It was a late scout across the map, so hyper greed out of SOS. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE blindly went 1 base all in. He went blindly into a proxy robo, so he was able to just pull SOS apart. SOS didn't have anything to defend. He had sentries that could buy time, but he had no backbone to his army. He had no robo, he had no immortals, he had no Stargate, he had no void rays, for example. Just he had no units to work with. He had no army. GG. Just too greedy in the end. GG, well played. And with that, we're loading into game number 3, and we'll see if SOS can make a series out of this. The pressure is very much so on SOS. We'll see what he can get done. What can he bring to the table? Spawning in the top left hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the German Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is SOS. So SOS did gamble last game, and unfortunately, I mean, it is a gamble for a reason. Did take a chance to take a risk. He was punished for it. Now we're loading into Ruby Rock. This is a smaller map in the map pool. Short rushes by ground. All-ins can still be very powerful on this map. Not even proxied, but if you can just go for an all-in from back at home, go for your own robo on 1 base and commit, and it can be very hard to defend. We'll see though, as this time we do see SOS calming down, and we should be seeing a much more standard opener. Should be. Yep, second gas for ShoWTimE, second gas for SOS. So this time double gas opener. Should be leading into that second gate. Into that Cybercore. There we go. No proxy, not yet. Or no fast Nexus. Now from here we can hide the second pylon. We can see that SOS does veer off on the right hand side, and looks like he does want to hide a fake proxy pylon. I assume it's fake because it is on SOS's side of the map. This is basically meant to try to force an overreaction out of ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE should be going for a probe scout. If he does, he'll notice that a pylon is missing, and he'll assume, ideally, he will assume that it's a proxy pylon. We can see it's fake. So some mind games out of SOS. Now the problem, the unfortunate reality here, as we're trying to mind game, as we're trying to pull a fast one over, on ShoWTimE there is no probe scout. I say that, okay, when the probe came back, do we go proxy Twilight Council? We could actually commit to a Twilight Council or a Stargate. Cybercore is almost done. Cybercore finishes. Never mind. Never mind. So we don't make use of the pile. So it is a fake out. It is a fake out. ShoWTimE, again, he never scattered, so he has no reason to be concerned. Or no reason to be mind gamed. He's now moving in with the Probe Scout. SOS, no, sorry, he does make use of it, going for a later Twilight Council. Okay. So this can be one of two things. Usually when you go for a proxy Twilight Council, it usually means DTs, like a Dark Shrine. Proxy Dark Shrine as well into a rush into Dark Templar. The other option, technically, which wouldn't have been delayed, would have been Twilight Council into Blink, into like a 4-gate, 1-base all-in. But we're leaning more towards a Dark Shrine. You can see the probe does come back around. Twilight Council's almost done, and we can line this up with the Dark Shrine. Now, what is ShoWTimE scouted? ShoWTimE never got into the main, but he sees there is no natural. You can see here, he confirms there is no natural base. That tells ShoWTimE that clearly money's being sent somewhere. SOS doesn't scout. Ooh, okay, so it's going to be a Stargate into Oracle opener out of ShoWTimE. This tells me that ShoWTimE has access to detection. We can see it's not going to be DTs, it's going to be Blink instead. Okay. So we should be throwing down extra gateways. There it is. We have a 3rd gateway. We should be seeing a 4th gateway as well. So it's going to be a 1-base 4-gate all-in. ShoWTimE, he has yet to confirm. Jesus. Barely doesn't scout. Oracle's on the way. Again, SOS, he never saw the main. SOS, he didn't scout properly here, and back at home, thankfully, he's got Stalkers. Yeah, he's got Stalkers in position. He should be fine. Zones away the Oracle. Oracle lands Revelation. Oh my god, the Oracle does fall, actually. Okay, SOS. He pops off. Catching the Oracle. Revelation gets highest on extra gateways. Robo's on the way. Immortals will be required. And we'll see what SOS can get done. Oh boy. So back at home, unlike SOS previously, you can see ShoWTimE is getting a safety battery. So there's a safety battery in the main, battery here at the natural. Getting 2 batteries actually at the natural. And the win condition for ShoWTimE is defend until Immortals swap out. He needs those Immortals. Oh, SOS expands? Oh boy. Okay. So now we see why there's no 4th gateway. If you remember, I assumed it was going to be a 4-gate 1-base Blink all-in. It's only 3 gateways, and because we're skipping a gateway, we can afford a Nexus. That explains the Nexus timing, but this also means that SOS, he doesn't really have his heart in this. It means that this is going to be a weaker all-in. Blink is done. Blink is revealed. Like, the problem here is that SOS needs to do damage because his base is so late. Like, if he goes into a macro game, he's going to be so far behind. Force Fields, they do slow this down. Yeah, nice. Force Fields, the first Immortal has arrived. Ay. We spoke about it. There was a window in time where SOS could do devastating damage before the Immortal arrives, but now we already have one. Triggers the shields, okay. SOS, he intentionally triggered the shields there. Gains high ground vision. He does think about rotating. Distract ShoWTimE. And does one-shot a Stalker. Oh, now going for the Immortal. Does 2-shot. Yeah, the Immortal goes down. Nice pick up. Another Immortal does rise to take its place. It took too long. Yeah, it took too long. And this is looking bleak for SOS. Remember, SOS, he's down 10 probes. SOS, it does end up rotating with a couple of Stalkers. There we go. 4 Stalkers do get into the main. Never mind. Hallucination ran out. No high ground vision. A couple of boys are being pulled. Does pull a couple of boys. More batteries are finishing. The Immortal just cannot engage. There we go. That Stalker count is getting quite high. Getting up to 16 Stalkers. That's a lot of Stalkers here. SOS is reaching critical mass. The issue is that it's taking a long time to do so. It's taking a long time, and now we're soon going to have 3 immortals for ShoWTimE. Where ShoWTimE still has had the better economy. Getting a 6th battery. Now there's 3 immortals. Oof. Doesn't get the Stalker. Out to 18 Stalkers for SOS. Still down in economy, now switching into charge. That will help. Oh. So again, SOS tries to find an opening. Head up shades across the map. ShoWTimE, he scouts these 3 zealots. That is a big tell. There should not be zealots at this stage of the game, so revealing all these zealots, let's confirm charge. SOS knows. Sorry, I meant to say ShoWTimE knows. Nice catch. Gets a Stalker. Bullying back SOS. Catching the pylon. Supply blocking SOS. Oh, ShoWTimE going into glaives. Very aggressive. And ShoWTimE, he's going to be pushing. He's going to be pushing once glaive finishes with his mass adepts, with his mass immortals. So now SOS does back off. He's claiming his 3rd base, trying to catch back up. I mean, ShoWTimE already getting his own 3rd, so faster 3rd for ShoWTimE. Still a higher probe count, still a better saturation, better economy. Glaives is almost done. The way this dynamic works, by the way, the kind of composition that ShoWTimE is building up, the immortals are built to shut down all the stalkers, the adepts are built to shut down all the zealots. Remember, we have charge lots warping in. ShoWTimE's answer to the charge lots are going to be mass glaive adepts. They are a short-term answer. They don't scale too well into a longer game, but I don't think ShoWTimE intends for the game to last much longer, as it's building up to one big move out. Technically, Charge Shot Archon is more efficient if you can build up to critical mass. And the armies, they pass by each other. Base trade? Okay. I do think this is the best chance for SOS. Yep, SOS, he blinks in, going straight for the main. And we're just going for the base trade. Again, this is the best chance for our blue Protoss. Depowering the gateways. 3rd base doesn't matter. ShoWTimE now pushing in towards the main. SOS is already there. Depowering everything. Yeah, depowers all the gateways. Again, this natural just buying time for SOS. SOS trying to get more warp-ins. Trying to hold on, alas the natural will crumble. And ShoWTimE is moving in. Same time the main base has fallen. ShoWTimE did pull the boys away, so he did preserve his workers. Shades into the mineral line. The Archon does get a volley off, just one. Yeah, the Archon doing what it can. The immortals, they are choked up by the production, by the SimCity. But ShoWTimE will still clean up. Yeah, we'll clean this up. Takes down all the Archons. ShoWTimE throws down his own Nexus, taking the natural. And SOS, did he save any probes? The answer is 3. Okay. So SOS, he does have 3 workers. Yeah, they're spread out. SOS can afford a Nexus. But the reality here is the main army. SOS, he can never fight head-on. He can never fight head-on. Now, technically, SOS's army is more mobile. True, like Mass Blink Stalker. So potentially, he could try to, say, snipe the Warp Prism, pick off a Sentry, pick off an Immortal, then blink away, right? There is potential here for SOS to out-control ShoWTimE's army. or maybe even out position, backstab, and then kill the final buildings. Like, there's opportunity here. Or there's a chance. What SOS cannot do is fight head on. If he fights head on, if he gets cornered, then he will lose. SOS, he does throw down 2 pylons. And again, he can afford a Nexus. He has yet to throw one down. And GG, never mind. GG, well played. As with that ShoWTimE, he will claim the series 3-0. He will advance on to the upper bracket semis. GG. GG, well played. Again, there was a slim chance there for SOS, and technically, because ShoWTimE had a full mining base, ShoWTimE never had to move out. He could just chill. And it looked like he was just going to chill, get his main base, get his natural, a third base, and just macro from there and be more defensive. There was no need for him to be active on the map, which would have given SOS some opportunities to pick away at the army, but he was just chilling back at home. His new home. GG. GG, well played. With that, ShoWTimE, he will claim the series. He will claim the series 3-0, advancing on. My condolences to SOS. Again, it was a rough series here when it came to the builds, when it came to the early game as well. Winding it back for this game, SOS, he went for a really awkward one base all in. It wasn't even, it was like, it was middle of the road here. Remember, it was a delayed proxy Twilight Council into a one base 3-gate blink all in, but then he took a third. Right, I say third base, I was 3-gate blink. He then took his natural, right? Then he expanded, which was really weird, because then it's like, oh, so now you have less warp-ins, now you have, you're missing a gateway, now you're not as committed, and that means that your all-in is weaker, but your macro is also weaker as well, because your natural is delayed. So it was very middle of the road there for SOS. You know, ShoWTimE, again, his win condition was just defend, survive. He got his first, second, and third immortal. He held on, he shut down the all-in, and he just skyrocketed ahead. GG. GG, well played. So again, a really awkward build out of SOS, which again wasn't as aggressive as it could have been, or it wasn't as greedy as it could have been, or macro oriented as it could have been. It was a little bit awkward there. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are halfway through the broadcast. Let's catch up on the bracket. From the top, we have Big Gabe here in Marine. He took down Zaun 3-2 to advance onto the upper bracket semis. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE took down SOS 3-0. So we have some German on German action there in the upper brackets. We have here Marine versus ShoWTimE. That'll be taking place tomorrow. Meanwhile, we have 2 more best of 5s ahead of us here. It is going to be Clem versus Lambo. That is up next on the channel, followed by Cyril versus Rainer. Oh boy. We'll get there. We will get there. For now, though, we are going to be cutting to a short break. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your Marines, and hydrate all of your Hydras. We'll be back soon with Clem versus Lambo. See you soon. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon.